Look at these egg ribbons here. These are kind of ribbons I like. Hi everybody, it's Bill from the Walks of Life, and today we're gonna make egg drop soup. It's one of our most popular recipes and it's delicious. In the days when my family owned a Chinese restaurant, we used to make 3 pots of soup every day. An egg drop soup, wonton broth, and hot and sour soup. I'd have to say egg drop soup is easiest to make at home. If you like ordering from your local Chinese restaurant, from the time that you call in your order to when you get it, you can actually make fresh egg drop soup and save yourself a couple of bucks. So why is this egg drop soup so delicious? The perfect ratio of ingredients of salt, sugar, sesame oil, eggs, and even cornstarch for thickness. No food coloring. Just about every restaurant uses yellow food coloring, and we don't. We do say add a little turmeric, adds a little flavor. Some people don't like it. That's why we say it's optional. And it only takes 15 minutes. So let's get to it. You're gonna need a good chicken stock, eggs of course, salt, sugar, sesame oil, cornstarch, white pepper, little sugar, MSG, optional, turmeric for color, optional, and you need fresh scallions. Now this one is huge from our garden. You don't need as much as this. 1 small chopped scallion, maybe a few tablespoons. Last but certainly not least is the thickener. We use cornstarch. If you don't have cornstarch, you can use other thickeners like tapioca, potato starch, or even arrowroot starch. First, we're gonna chop some scallion. Make sure when you're cutting the scallions, you got a nice sharp knife. However fine you wanna cut them, up to you. And now for the stock. Best to use hot water. This is 4 cups, which is a quart. So if you're using a boxed or canned chicken stock, usually they do come in quart sizes. This says to use 1 teaspoon per cup of water. So I'm gonna put 4 teaspoons in here. It's 1, 2, 3, and I'm just gonna stir this up. Next, we're gonna crack our eggs. This recipe calls for 3 eggs. Next, we beat the eggs. You shouldn't overly beat these eggs because you do want to get a little bit of white. You know, in a shrimp with lobster sauce, we just slightly beat them because we want those white streaks. But in egg drop soup, we're fine. And now we'll make the slurry, cornstarch slurry that is. 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. May sound like a lot, but the cornstarch slurry makes it nice and thick with a luxurious texture. We're gonna use 1/3 cup of water. Mix this up thoroughly, but it is gonna settle again. Now we're ready to fire up the egg drop soup. We're gonna turn this on to boil and add our chicken stock. Make sure you get all the bits off the bottom. Now a word about chicken stock. Homemade stock is obviously great, but you can also buy this from the grocery store. You can do what we do and use better than bouillon. You just add a little bit of water. It's great. Some people use chicken powder or bouillon cubes. Just make sure you get a low sodium stock because otherwise it's gonna throw off the recipe and it might be a little bit salty. A lot of these chicken stocks have mirepoix, extra seasonings and flavor. That's gonna throw off the flavor of your egg drop soup. What you want is pure chicken stock. Next, I would add turmeric, but I think this particular stock already has a little bit of turmeric in it, so we're just gonna leave it as is. Next, we're gonna add our dry ingredients. 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Sugar, we need 1/8 of a teaspoon, just to balance the saltiness a little bit. Sugar does wonders for flavor. White pepper to taste, but 1/8 of a teaspoon is perfect. Next, I'm gonna add the toasted sesame oil. It's a 1/2 teaspoon. Swish it around, make sure you get all of it. And now for the MSG. Whereas my mother used to say, I'm gonna add the seafood, anywhere from 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon. Let that come up to a boil, and for efficiency's sake, I'm gonna cover it. We're gonna get ready with our cornstarch, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by re-stirring it. You see how this cornstarch is settled already? And if I scoop this, it's sort of solid at the bottom. So what you want to do is stir that up until everything is mixed and uniform right before you use it. You know it's ready when there's no more residue on the spoon when you stir it. So now it's boiling. Everything looks like it's melted away and in uniform. We don't have any chunks of bouillon. Make sure this is simmering before you add your cornstarch. The key is here that you want to stir as you're drizzling in this cornstarch, and your soup will thicken and you won't get any chunks of cornstarch. And after that, you're going to let it cook because it will continue to thicken. So this is a nice texture, nice and thick and luxurious, but not goopy. So I'm going to get my eggs. This is called dan fa tong, or egg flour soup. The question here is, do I want little particles of egg or do you want sheets of eggs? Now personally, I kind of like something in between, not so small, but I don't want chunks of eggs either. When I touch the spoon down there, the induction works on the spoon. So I'm gonna get this going at a slow speed and start my egg drizzle. Slowly, oh, look at those ribbons. And you know what? It's okay to stop.
Don't get too crazy.
Well, you know what happens? You can also pour it into your spoon and then swish it around. There's lots of different methods. Clean up all the rest of the egg out of here. Beautiful ribbons. And this is nice because you can really taste little egg chunks in here. All right, put a little bit of scallion in here. Crispy fried noodles, you can have it with that. Also, a little bit of sesame oil on there. Egg drop soup, folks. We're gonna give it a taste. Very tasty. I think egg drop soup always tastes better when you slurp it.
Any soup.
A little bit of the scallion flavor, perfect. I can see why people love it. Look at these egg ribbons here. These are kind of ribbons I like. You can also make it really thin. Luxurious. The egg is so silky and it's tasty as heck. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit us at thewalksoflife.com. Thanks, folks. And scallion.
Oh my God.
So huge.
That's the smallest one.
We used cornstarch, add it to the sloop. Add it to the sloop.
Add it to the sloop.
Right, that's enough. 6 eggs later.